welcome back to Man Across New Horizons. I'm dear darling, as shall we see what's going on on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today. We'll be vibing out as per usual. I don't know literally what I'm going to talk about today. I mean, I guess I never know what I'm going to talk about. But you always do. There's always this sort of sense of dramatic irony, I suppose, in that. But yeah, and I don't know. I was just thinking here, not like literally just sort of sitting here being like, what am I going to think about? Sorry, what am I going to talk about? But I was like thinking, I was going to record a bit earlier, and I was like, I don't really know if I got any like conversation in me. And now we're later, and I'm just like, I might as well just record now anyway, and maybe something will come up. Oh, natural, but if not, oh well. Good evening, everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 7:21 p.m. on Friday, October 14th, 2022. Halfway through October, you know, almost halfway to Halloween. Whoa, halfway there. Actually, that's interesting. Hold on. This is something I feel like I've talked about before, but absolutely, if I've not spoken about before, this is a fantastic conversation. I've not spoken about it before. Okay, flash mobs. It's basically what I'm going to talk about. Oh, I mean, you already know. You can see the title. So, if you don't know what a flash mob is, I guess I'd be like, really? But then I think about it a bit more. I guess they're not really popular nowadays anymore. It's very much sort of like early 2010s sort of thing, maybe. But basically, the best way I can describe a flash mob is a load of people in unison performing unbeknownst to in a public place, unbeknownst to everyone else that it was going to happen. So it's like it's I don't want to say impromptu because it's not impromptu. It was planned. It was mediated. So it's not like complete improv or anything. But it's sort of just like everyone, a group of people secretly organising a performance of some kind. And you might be like, performance might be dancing or singing. It doesn't have to be. It can just be like a theatrical performance or something of it. Basically, some sort of event where other people didn't really know what was going on, and then, you know, that's kind of part of the fun quote that, you know, is sort of just like everyone who's just like a random person in public will just be like, get to see some sort of fun spectacle, and then all the other people who are performing will, you know, get to perform. Anyway, it was like super popular in the early 2010s or whatnot. It might be popular now, but I've literally never, I don't think, seen one since. But it was very much a sort of fad thing. It was like it rode. I don't want to visit someone else. It rode like the hype for a while, and then it became like, you know, it was like, wow, cool. This is really fun. This looks great. And then, you know, everyone started doing it. It became like, you know, the advertisers, like corporates, advertisements best way of like doing family friendly sort of advertising, and then it became really fake, and then everyone's like cringe and it stopped being a thing. And I talk about it because after singing Bon Jovi Living on a Prayer, that's what it's called, it's because my secondary school did one, kind of. It was a thing where it was basically like I'm not really sure what to call it, like a prank week, but it's not really a prank week. It might have been a day, I can't really, maybe it was prank day. It was not on April 1st, you might be like, that's, you know, kind of what like April Fools is. It wasn't on April 1st because a lot of the time, April 1st lands in school holiday time, at least here in the UK. So sometimes I think it doesn't, but at least this time it did. It was just like a random day where, I think, I must have spoken about this before, someone like, I think, the school captain or something, like, organised, what am I putting this way? I can't even think what I'm doing. Organised basically a big sort of prank thing. Well, there was going to be 3 events throughout the day, if I recall, that were going to be prank things, and everyone was going to be a part of a different team. And I was part, and, you know, it was really all, it was meant to be hush hush, quote, but they still sent out like letters in the registration. So like in the morning, basically be like, hey, if you want to be part of something, wink wink, nudge nudge, sign up for it. I don't even remember how we got the word out, but I mean, some people were probably surprised. But it was meant to be the general school populace that probably knew something was going to happen, but they just didn't know what. And I remember a lot of teachers were in it as well. Like, I remember the headmaster was as well, because one of the things, there were 3 events, and I'll tell you about each of them in turn. And I was on the first, I was on the team for the first event, and everyone was on the team for the last event. But the first event was a thing which happened during a school assembly. You might be like, what's an assembly? It's basically the entire school gathers up in the morning, maybe like bi-weekly or something, and, you know, you hear like school news or things which are going on, etc, etc. Yeah, so it was meant to be during that, and it did happen during that, and the thing was, I can't remember, there's 2 parts to it. There were 2 parts to it, but I don't remember what one of the parts was. But there was one part where the headmaster was going to read something out. I think they like normally read out like sport awards or something like that, and maybe like blah 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 blah, and something Spartacus, and then like someone in the audience, one of the students, wanted to stand up and yell out something like, "No, I am Spartacus." I mean, that was it. It was basically sort of ping ponged back and forth between like 20 different people just going like, "Oh, I'm Spartacus. No, I'm Spartacus. You can't be Spartacus. I'm Spartacus," etc., over and over and over again. Which, you know, me telling it like that, you might be like, that sounds really weird, and I guess it kind of is, but it did happen anyway. There's also another part of the assembly, but I can't remember what it was. The only part I can remember is it starts with the headmaster saying something, and then someone else in the audience calls something out, and the headmaster goes, "What? Who says that? Who said that?" I don't even know what I just agreed to, Raymond. But, you know, hopefully we have fun. I really can't remember what it is. I'm trying to think what it is, but it was something, you know, along the lines of a Spartacus thing, but it was with something else, I think. Yeah, so I was part of one of the ones who was meant to be Spartacus. You know, I was like number 8 or something. I don't think it was 20 of us. I think it was like maybe like 10 of us or something. So I was quite late on down the register, and there was like a specific order people were meant to do things in. And, you know, it was just like, remember, just the person who goes before you, and then when they do their turn, you do your turn. And then I remember, I don't even know what happened during the assembly, but it was really weird. But, you know, it happened, and it was like blah 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 Spartacus, and then like the first kid, he like stands up, he yells, "Spartacus, no, I'm Spartacus," or something like that. And then it goes on for like 4 times, but then like random people just started joining in, just like they took it as an opportunity to be like, yeah, I mean, yeah, give me your Western shirt. I don't want you wearing this because, you know, I don't want you displaying it anymore. And bye, Raymond. I know. Do you want to play? Okay. I thought normally they don't allow you to leave until you play a game with them. And then, yeah, so random people started joining in, and random teachers who weren't there, like, but people who weren't part of the rehearsals, like, we had rehearsals and everything for this entire thing. So then I was just like, I don't even know when I meant to stand up and do my thing, so I just didn't, in the end. Because I was like, you know what, I'll give this a pass. You know, enough people are doing it, the joke's kind of run its course. I don't know if I exactly followed it, but I don't remember exactly what I was thinking at the time. But probably what I was thinking at the time was like, why are people just bussing in randomly? You know, this isn't part of a joke. How dare you ruin this joke with your light-hearted fun. But yeah, that happened, so I didn't do my thing. And then the other, that was the second thing, because there was something else that also happened. So I wish I remembered what it was. It was something also very strange. But anyway, that was like the first part of the flash mob, the first part of the prank day. The second one happened during our break, because what happens during the school day is we have 2 lessons, then we have a break, we have 1 more lesson, and then we have lunch, and then we have 2 more lessons again. At least that's how it was in our school. Different schools work on different period systems, but that's what it was for us. And it was, the break is like half an hour or something, but we have like a central area in our school, like a big old like green space where basically all the free traffic goes through. Is like a big old roundabout, I suppose, a foot roundabout in the school. And the grassy bit in the middle was sort of like fenced off by like a quite low down like white fence or what have you. Oh, it's for another story to talk about from school, but I might have already spoken about it before. And you weren't allowed on there like at all. It was basically just for display. There was like a lone tree sat in the middle, and the break time wing was meant to be like some sort of spy invasion, like spy attack thing, where one of the teachers, I think it was the RD teacher if I recall, like was wearing like a robber's getup, you know, like a balaclava, you know, like black clothing, that sort of thing, and basically just like being really sort of suspicious. And actually maybe I was a part of this. I don't actually remember. I might have been a part of all 3 of them. I honestly don't recall, but that happened where he was just like wheeling in a wheelie bin, like, and being like all suspicious, like being like, oh, you know what's going on. And then like the Mission Impossible theme started playing like over the loudspeakers, like down. Is that the Mission Impossible theme? Or was that wait? I always get Mission Impossible theme and James Bond confused. That might be James Bond. Hold on. Wait. Okay, whichever one's a Mission Impossible. Oh, I don't remember which one it is, but in my head it's a Mission Impossible theme. And then it was meant to be like, then like a squad of like 6 or something other students like rolled out, also in like the same sort of balaclava, like thief get up, and like pretending to be spies. They were doing like rolls and like forward rolls around the place, except I'm not even sure if any of them were gymnasts. So it was a bit strange. And in fact, it's almost a bit odd I didn't do that, because I guess I didn't do gymnastics anymore at that time, but you know, I was a gymnast at least back in primary school for a little bit. But they were basically, you know, like posing with like finger guns and that sort of thing, you know, being very dramatic or that sort of thing. And then what was meant to happen is that they all like reconvene in the centre after some sort of like performance like set sequence they did. And then all of us who were not one of them were meant to like hop the mini fence. I say hop, step over it. It's like 30 centimeters tall, about a foot tall for Americans. And it's a foot. We were just meant to like run in slow motion at them, and then they would like point their finger guns at us, and then they'd shoot us, and we'd be like, and die on the floor in like a really dramatic way. That one was actually kind of amusing from what I recall. And then at the end, like when the music stopped, there was actually like another student like in the wheelie bin. He like popped out, and like a load of helium balloons came out or something. I can't really remember. It was something along those lines, except for I think he popped out too early, or maybe too late. And I don't remember. It was a bit weird. Anyway, a lot of it just like ran. I think I was a part of this. Like, I think I ran in slow motion, but also, you know, when these flash mobs happen in public places, you know, most people are strangers, and most people are like, "Hey, I'm not even going to join in with this sort of thing. I'm just sort of like sitting and watch a show." But of course, you know, if you do it in a school where everyone's like, "Hey, way," everyone's here for like a bit of bants, you know. If people start seeing what's going on, they're going to start joining in, even though they're not part of the thing. If we see like 20 people like start going into the area, like running in slow motion, then, you know, like if you know, I certainly wouldn't blame you if you were just like, hey, I'm going to be a part of this. You know, you hop in, even if you're not part of a flash mob, and, you know, also join in. You know, I suppose it's meant to be a sign of things to come. You know, the assembly one was meant to be a sign that this was going to happen, and it's going to be a sign for the next story I'm going to tell you in a bit. But that one was good fun, from what I recall. I mean, you know, everyone dusted herself off. Everyone had really, like, muddy school uniforms, I remember, after that, which is a bit of a deficit. But, you know, I guess it was all in a bit of fun. Anyway, the lunchtime one is why I was singing Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer, because it was meant to start with this one, like, sixth form kid. So, you know, someone in a senior? Is that the American term? Was meant to go into that middle sort of like grassy area of a school as well, with like a microphone and an amp or something, and then like start playing Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi, and he would start singing, and then basically it was going to be like a sort of like mini concert. Everyone else would suddenly, like, at the start of the first chorus, first chorus maybe, I can't remember, sort of just like jump in and start singing, and we had like this mini choreography and everything. Not very difficult one, like I'd say on the level of YMCA. So yeah, everyone's just like, oh, what's going on? What's confused? Why is this guy singing like Bon Jovi? Despite the fact that, you know, the two previous events had already happened for this like pranks day that was going on. Yeah, so that happened. You know, it started off fine when you start singing Living on a Prayer. You know, the song starts playing. Ooh, whoa, 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 whoa. That's the song, right? I don't remember. And then like first chorus comes in. And then if the previous two events were anything to go by, you know, first, like, you know, there was only like 30 of us, I think, who were actually in like the prank day meetings or whatever. 30 of us jump in, you know, we start doing like whoa, halfway there, like moving our arms like to the beat or whatever. But, you know, classic sort of like secondary school, people up all for a bit of bands, you know, British. I was going to call it high school, despite the fact it's not high school. You know, people see this happening, you know, the same way that like people were like suffering from a bystander effect. And then, you know, suddenly everyone starts doing something. Now you're not cool if you're not doing that thing. Have you seen that video? I can't remember what it's called, but like how to start a mob. I don't know. It's about some guy dancing and then everyone joining him, and then soon everyone's dancing. Basically, that's what happened. And so basically everyone in the school was expecting something by that point. So most people were like in that area, but everyone just like hopped over the fence to join into this concert. And then there used to be this thing called a bundle, like in secondary school. It's basically just like everyone just piles on top of each other, but there's no like finesse with it or anything. It's just literally, you know, someone ends up on the floor, someone ends up like against a wall or something, then people just go bundle, and then everyone just like jumps on them. Why? I don't know. To be perfectly honest, but it just happens. So yeah, it was basically a big old concert. Everyone's there. It's absolutely packed. It's absolutely crowded. You can barely move, and someone falls over. Then suddenly you hear bundle, and then just a massive pile of people just in the middle of a grassy area. And then obviously the teachers had to get involved, and it was, you know, kind of like broke up. I think the concert actually did come to like fruition at the end, but that basically only happened once while I was in school, and then it never happened again. And you might think that's because of that terrible, like final thing. Like I actually legitimately think like two kids actually got injured, not like heavily injured. They didn't have to go to the hospital or anything, but like one of them like went home early or something because I can't remember off the top of my head. But obviously it was not like a great, it was meant to all be in good fun, but the unpredictability of teenagers results in a lot of chaos happening, I suppose. What am I doing? I should try and do a Nookmail mission. We've got 5 minutes. Customize chopwood. Okay, we can do those two. So yeah, it never happened again during my schooling career. Like I was in like year 7, year 8, I think. Excuse me. And yeah, it never happened again. But I don't actually genuinely think it didn't happen because of that, or that like flash mob thing. The last flash mob thing. The last event, sorry. I think it just genuinely flash mobs kind of like fell out of favour, and then also like the person who organised that was our school captain. He was a very zealous school captain, from what I recall, very school spirit sort of guy. Like he always kept like trying to organise these sort of events. Like he did a lot of different things, from what I recall, or at least attempted to. And then yeah, I don't know if we had another school captain who tried to do stuff like he did. Is that good or bad? I don't know. It sort of depends on your own viewpoint on how much you like to interact with those sort of things in the first place. But it was alright. I guess it was in good spirits and it was good fun, and no one got seriously injured, so I guess it's okay. I think the fence got broken for a while though. That's what I remember. Yeah. Anyway, flash mobs. So they're not really much of a thing anymore that I can think of. Do I even like flash mobs? I think as long as they're, like well organised and not particularly disruptive, I think it could be fine. Like, say just like walking about in London and suddenly people just like dancing in unison when you're just like walking by Trafalgar Square, as long as they're not like blocking the roads or the stations or anything like that. Yeah, why not? Do your thing, If you're in an open area, go for it, is what I say. Because then, the thing which people get annoyed by flash mobs is if they start like interrupting their like flow of like what they want to do. I also can't remember what we need for an axe. I think it's this stuff. So if you're not interested, as long as you can walk past and ignore it, completely fine. And if you are interested, you can sit there and watch. But it's only when it starts like holding things up, people are just like not cool. Now it's become annoying rather than slightly charming. And you might be like, what do I think of flash mobs in general? Yeah. I can't really think of many flash mobs. Like the one I can think about. Oh, what happened to that like group of people who organise these things? Like the one where they were like in New York, one of the New York stations or whatever, the biggest ones. They got 1,000 people or something just to basically all freeze at one exact moment. That one was really impressive, and I remember watching it being like, that's super cool. I think that must have sparked it up. I feel like it's called like Improv Every Day. Why do I feel like that's what it's called? They did quite a few things, and a lot of them were pretty good from what I recall, and they just stopped. If anything, I guess it kind of like transitioned into like comedy shows, like Just for Laughs in Canada. I don't know why I know that, but hold on. Frozen New York. That's how you say York. Not musical. Train station? It's a really old video. Frozen Grand Central. Improv Everywhere. I don't know how I remember this. 14 years ago, my word. They still do stuff? That's actually shocking. Most popular. Frozen Grand Central. With No Pants Subway Ride. I remember that one. I remember a lot of these other ones. Food Court Musical was a good one as well, from what I recall. People really like the No Pants ones. What on earth is going on? Anyway, something certainly I don't think aged well. I'm just looking at these being like, ooh, this is a very, very sort of like early 2010s, early 2000s sort of thing, isn't it? The Conductor's one was pretty good, if I recall. That was one that was just like an orchestra, right? Anyway, but the one I do like, which is probably faked, which is the saddest thing, clean room suit for maid dress. I see, a change of professions. It was, is it Vodafone or is it, no, T-Mobile? The one they do it at the airport where, they sing a load of songs. I feel like I even still remember. Hold on. How does it start? At last my love is something, my lonely days are gone. And then people start going in and shoot bop 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 bop, shoot bop 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 bop. And life is like a song. And then there's like a beatboxer going. I'm coming home baby now. Da, 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 da. I'm coming home now real soon. I still remember the songs they sing. Since you've been gone, my boys are back in town. My boys are back. Okay, sorry, I'm not even finishing my sentences. T-Mobile, like, welcome home. That's what it's called, right? At the time, you know, I definitely thought it was real whenever it came out. 11 years ago, oh my god. I was 14 and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. That T-Mobile advert from a passenger's viewpoint. Wait, was it actually legitimately real? No way it was actually real. Maybe it was actually real. I'm going to watch these videos and see, you know, actually what it... See it all again. I'm going to have a nostalgia trip because I used to be able to sing this all the time. And it was awesome. You know, probably what it was, they probably like manufactured some of the reactions, you know, sometimes as like prank shows do or whatnot. Anyway, T-Mobile, welcome back. You know, is that my best flash mob in existence? Probably not, but it's one I liked when I was younger. So anyway, I'm going to round off this episode here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Any likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Excuse me. Join me, Dear Darling, Discord, follow me on Twitter down below. Hope you see you again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.